Let's get real about AI and email marketing in 2025. There's so much hype and misinformation out there about using AI for email marketing. Some gurus are telling you AI will write perfect emails in seconds, and other gurus are telling you that AI copywriting will destroy your brand and just murder your conversions. The truth is somewhere in the middle, but probably not where you think. We've tested AI for email copywriting across 43 different e-commerce brands and sent over 2 million AI-assisted emails in the past year alone. What we found might surprise you. When used correctly, AI-enhanced emails have outperformed human-written emails by over 23% in revenue per recipient. For one client, we took them from $52,000 per month in email revenue to over $160,000 per month in email revenue using the same AI approach I'm about to show you. In this video, I'm going to reveal the actual truth about using AI for Klaviyo email copywriting in 2025. I'm going to talk about what actually works, what's pure hype, and the exact specific approach that we use with our clients. So before I show you how to actually use and train your own AI bot to write email copy for you, I want to talk a little bit very briefly about what does email copywriting with AI actually look like in 2025 right now. So as you know, email copywriting and just AI in general is exploding right now. It's evolving super quickly. I remember literally, I think it was like a year and a half ago when ChatGPT actually first came out. And back then it wasn't really usable. It didn't really serve much of a purpose for email copywriting. It wasn't very accurate. It was very easy to tell what was written by AI and what wasn't. But now we're getting to the point where if you use it properly and if you actually train it properly and put the time into training it properly, there's really no way you can tell a difference if you're checking it and you have those quality checks, which I'll talk about. So I've noticed that a lot of brands I talk to either are not using AI at all, like they don't even know it exists. They don't know that they can use AI for their copywriting. They don't know it can be accurate. And then I also see the other side of it where brands are just totally abusing it and they're using it way too much. And as soon as you open the email, you know immediately that it was written by AI and it just has no human touch to it whatsoever. So you don't want to be either of those brands. You want to be somewhere in the middle, right? You want to use AI, you want to take advantage of it, but you also want to make sure you have that human touch to it, you're quality checking it, and you're training it in the way where it's not just going to sound robotic and turn people away. Because people are becoming more savvy to AI now. Everybody using it's becoming more widespread, so you have to be cognizant of that. Different AI models, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Claude, whichever one you want to use, regardless, they're all getting better at understanding the different nuances within e-commerce, right? The more training, the more knowledge that they go through, the better they get at understanding, first of all, your brand, right? Obviously, you have to explain a little bit to it, but it just understands more about e-commerce in general, which really helps a lot when writing the actual copy, understanding the overarching industry as a whole. It already has a decent level of base knowledge. When you combine that and you mix it with your own knowledge and your own findings and your own trainings, it just becomes a superpower and it becomes really, really effective. So the real power here is really in kind of like a hybrid approach. You want the intelligence of an AI bot, and you also want that human touch from an actual person as well. And when you combine those two and you mix them together properly, it makes for some really awesome copy that saves you a ton of time. Now, I also see a ton of different myths out there just on various places in the internet about AI and about, copywriting using AI. So I want to dispel a couple of those before I get into how to actually build your own bot. So the first myth I see all over the internet, and I'm sure you've seen this as well, is that AI is just going to completely wipe out email marketers and just completely replace them. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is advancing really quickly. It's becoming very intelligent. It's getting better at different contexts of different industries, but you always need that human touch. And what I look at AI as, and what I know a lot of other people look at AI as, is just a tool, right? It's never going to replace email marketing entirely. And if anything, it's just saving everybody time. When you combine that human touch with the intelligence and the capacity of ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI model you're using, it makes for a perfect storm and you can get things done way quicker at a way higher quality. So it takes two to tango, basically, is what I'm saying here. Myth number two that I hear a lot, especially when I'm talking to e-commerce brand owners, is that AI written emails, AI copywriting sounds very robotic and it just doesn't sound real. So that could or could not be true. It's really up to how you train the AI and how you do it. There is a way, and I've proven this with all of my clients, to create copy for e-commerce brands that is actually very effective, very punchy, very clever, and has that human feel to it. Again, you always need that human component to it. So yes, if you are just, kind of plugging in a prompt to GPT, not even reading it and just taking whatever it spits out and plugging it into your email, yeah, that might sound a little robotic, right? So you always want to make sure you're checking it, you're adding your own kind of like feel for it, and that's going to ensure that you have punchy copy that's clever, that you didn't have to spend a long time thinking of, but also it's not robotic. It doesn't sound like ChatGPT made it, because that's the worst thing you want to do. So myth number three is that AI will never understand your brand properly. I hear this all the time. I really strongly disagree about this. If you are an e-commerce brand, I'm assuming most of my clients, they all have some type of brand guideline book, a mission statement, just any type of documentation on what the brand stands for. I'm going to talk about how to do this, but you actually use all that information to train your AI bot and become basically an expert on your brand. And if you do this properly, it will quite literally soak up everything about your brand and pour that into your copy. It works like a dream, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. All right, so what you're looking at in front of me here is my custom GPT that we have made for this specific client, okay? So I'm going to show you exactly how to use it first, and then I'm going to talk about how to actually create this so that it understands and soaks in all the information from your brand. So as you can see, this is a custom GPT that we made. It is an expert AI copywriter. It understands this brand and this brand entirely like the back of its hand, and it also understands what makes effective email copywriting. It's also been trained on how to actually write good copy. So as you can see, these are just some of the example prompts. I'll just pick one of them right now. Write an abandoned cart email for A3 performance aimed at a competitive swimmer who left behind a new racing dog. Okay, so basically, abandoned cart and abandonment type of flow. Okay, so as you can see, it gives you subject line, preview text, and then the actual copy within the email. And you can obviously play with this, right? If you want to say, make me a better heading and subheading. You can literally just play around with it and ask it for whatever you need until what you have is perfect. So basically right here, see the wall before your competition does. You left behind goggles designed to give you sharper vision, lighter turns, and the confidence to dominate every lap. I'll be honest, this right here sounds a little bit like AI. So what I would do is I would just edit that a little bit myself until I'm happy with it, right? So you kind of use this to save you the time of just brainstorming and coming up with the initial skeleton. And then from there, you can really tweak it and just make a few minor edits to it, and then it's good to go. Now, if I wanted to, let's say, make a welcome email. Make me a welcome email that delivers a 10% off discount code. Code is welcome ZVJ7 or S. I want the body section to highlight any unique selling propositions. Okay. So let's see what it spits out. All right. So subject line, welcome to A3. Here is 20% off to get started. I said 20% off, cool. Your code, welcome ZVJS. Looks stupid because that's just how I typed it in. There's a little typo there. Gear built to help you some faster starts now. And then here is the actual copy for the email. Here is basically the YA3 section, so the unique selling proposition section. That's the copy right there. We would just hand this over to the designers and they would visualize this and make it look awesome, basically. But this is used to come up with the initial copy. I would go through manually and just kind of tweak things. But honestly, not many tweaks are required. We've been training this bot, so it's pretty good at this point. But yeah, that's basically how it works. Pretty straightforward. Let me show you how to actually build your own AI bot for your specific brand. So the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously create a ChatGPT account and get the Plus subscription. So if you do want to do this, if you do want the ability to train and customize your own AI chat box, you will need to pay, I believe it's $15 or $20 per month. So that is the one requirement to this entire thing. So once you have the account, what you're going to do is go in. So you're going to be on your main dashboard, open up a little sidebar and go here to explore GPTs. Okay. This is where you're basically going to create your own ChatGPT. So go ahead and click create. Now, this is the GPT builder. This is where you'll actually configure and train your AI to basically, understand your brand. So for name, I'm just going to name it whatever the brand name is. For here, I'm just going to do, again, A3 Performance AI Copywriter. Okay. That's going to be the name. For description, it could be whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. Just, AI copywriter, doesn't really matter. It's just a little preview that appears. So next we have the instructions, and then we're going to have to upload files. Okay, so let me show you what to do here. Now, in the description of this video, have linked the document that I made, which is basically a full e-commerce copywriting guide. It includes everything that you need to put into ChatGPT to make it an expert on email copy. Okay, so as you can see, I have general rules of thumb for copy, keep everything skimmable. Every email has one singular job, right? Just explaining these basic principles of copywriting to it. I also talk about the structure of copy within email marketing. I also have the different triggers and different emotional triggers that you need to be aware of and that GPT needs to understand. And I also have a lot of the main categories like a welcome flow, abandoned cart, browse abandonment, those types of flows. So it has training on all of these things, right? So it's a pretty extensive document. I've linked it in the description. What you're going to want to do first, as you can see here, I put the first slide, instructions for the GPT. Okay. So just as it says, copy and paste this entire paragraph here into ChatGPT under instructions. Okay. This is basically like the prompt for GPT, telling it how you want it to behave, what you want it to do. So you're an expert e-commerce email copywriter for insert your brand name here. This is going to be for me, A3 Performance. For A3 Performance, trained to write high converting, customer first emails that drive sales, brand engagement, and list retention. Basically, I just spelled it all out for it, told it exactly what I want from it. So go ahead and copy and paste that into the instruction section. Again, this entire document for you to access for free is in the description of this video. So go click on it right now. Now, next, what we need to do is give it and feed it all of this information. So pretty simple here. We're just going to need to download it as a PDF and then feed it to ChatGPT, just upload it, right? So I'm just going to download it. I'm going to export it as a PDF. All right. So once that's ready, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to simply just upload it to ChatGPT and make sure that it understands the different principles about email copywriting. So simple as that, literally just download the document that I shared as a PDF and put it right into ChatGPT under the upload file section. So I made it pretty easy for you. I kind of took a lot of the work out of it for you. I just made this whole document. So definitely check it out. Definitely use it. This is going to give AI everything it needs to actually create high converting copy for emails. So now all we need to do is just train it on the individual brand. The best way to do this, if you have any type of pamphlet or document like a brand guideline sheet, mission statement sheet, what you guys stand for, most brands that I've come across have some type of brand guidelines. So as you can see here, this is A3 Performance's brand guidelines, basically an entire document explaining what the brand stands for, the different products they sell, what are their routes, all that stuff is here. We're quite literally just going to download this document and feed it into ChatGPT. That is literally going to tell it all it needs to know and tell it everything about the brand. So again, just go ahead and upload that into GPT so that it understands the brand. And then from here, you're pretty much done. Again, I made it really easy for you by just kind of putting all the documents already made in the description for you. So definitely take advantage of that. All you want to do now is, I mean, you could either just finish it, or I like to upload a little photo, just to use DALL-E there. It'll generate a cool little photo for you just so you can easily identify it. So once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and create it. All right, so there you go. It even looked at the brand guidelines. It understood that this was a swimming brand and it made a cool little swimmer icon there. So pretty funny. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and create it. I'm going to share it to only me. I don't want to make this a public GPT. Go ahead and save it. Cool. And now from here, it is going to pop up under my dashboard. So don't worry about losing it. I'm just, for the sake of the video, going to plug it in and use it here. So here we are. Here is my GPT, just like how we started before. That is how you build it. As you can see, write a post-purchase email from founder of the company. I want this to be a text-based email. Make it very personal and heartfelt. Thank the customer for their purchase. And at the very end, include a subtle call to action to keep shopping these store. All right, so this is just an example of how it works, right? So, hey, Philip, this is Dan, founder of A3 Performance. I wanted to personally thank you for your recent order. Feel free to read it here. It's actually pretty good. I like to remove these like little marks here just because I don't like the way it looks. GPT tends to use those a lot. So I just simply remove those. I add like a comma or something, or I just switch up the way the sentence is worded. But you get the idea here, right? Now, this is your custom GPT. It'll always stay in your sidebar for you to use, and it understands your brand properly. So whether you're another agency and you're using this for your clients, or whether you're an e-commerce brand and you want to just have an AI bot that understands your brand perfectly, that is how you do it. So yeah, that was pretty cool, but where does AI actually still fall short, right? Because it's not superhuman, it does still kind of fall short in some areas. So for example, as you saw, it's pretty good at writing the actual like laborious part of making copy, which is actually writing it out and brainstorming it and coming up with the ideas. But you're the one who still has to feed it the prompts, and you're the one who has to have the strategic overall vision for what you actually want, right? So it doesn't create copy out of thin air. You still need to kind of direct it in a way, which makes it very important to kind of understand and have a clear picture of what you actually want to be in your flows, to be in your campaigns, and you come up with the proper content that you could then utilize AI for. Also, if you're doing anything like emotional, heartfelt, you might need kind of double check it some more and get some better refinement processes in there. As you saw from that last post-purchase email, that heartfelt message from the founder, you know, it wasn't entirely terrible, but this wasn't a video and I had more time, I would actually go back and rewrite a lot of the different areas of it, but kind of just use that as a skeleton, right? So if you're using AI copywriting for more of like those emotional type emails, you definitely want to kind of refine them a lot more strictly than you would, for example, like an abandoned cart email. Now, also, if you're doing any type of like new product launch, chances are AI is not going to understand what the product is or even know about it, because that wasn't in the brand guidelines when we actually fed it to it in the first place, unless you constantly update it, which I would recommend. So chances are for product launches and, you know, different sales that you're announcing, usually it does pretty well with you just saying, hey, I'm running a 20% off sale, and you kind of just very briefly explain than what the sale is. But just be cognizant of that. You sometimes will need to give it some more information in your actual prompt, just so it's kind of aware it has all the context before it can actually make the copy. And also, lastly, this is a big one. If there's any sort of like crisis communication, for example, right now, I'm not sure when you guys are watching this, but right now tariffs are a big thing. I don't know if those are still going on. I hope not. Those types of emails, you never want those to be like fully AI generated. You want to more so write those on your own. I honestly wouldn't recommend using AI for those. Those are the type of emails where you really want those to be directly from the founder or just, you know, your actual team, right? You don't want to let AI handle that, especially when it's like a really important email. By all means, use AI to kind of draft the skeleton, draft the layout, but I would sincerely recommend actually taking a couple minutes to actually write those emails out. Now, in terms of actually compensating for these issues that I just shared, the biggest one is going to be actually creating some type of refinement process, okay? I know it's very easy to get in the habit of just plugging in a prompt to GPT, getting the copy and just putting it and sending it straight to your designers, or, you know, if you're an e-commerce brand, just getting right to work on the design. You never want to do that. You always want to make sure you're taking that little bit of extra time. It doesn't take long to just kind of refine everything and double check everything and make sure that when it actually spit out sounds real and sounds like your brand, sounds like your founder, sounds like you, whoever it's supposed to be from, just because sometimes, right, it can sound a little bit robotic. And again, it's not perfect. So you want to make sure you're constantly refining it. And again, at the end of the day, you always need that human touch. You need to know when to kind of override AI and say, hey, no, that's actually a bad idea. I don't want to do that, right? Because it's very easy, again, to get into the habit of just taking whatever AI gives you. But again, you know your brand better than AI does, okay? AI knows it pretty well, but you know it better. So you always want to make sure that you have that checks and balance system there and you're not kind of just letting AI run the show. So there you have it, the unfiltered truth about using AI for email copywriting in 2025. And that is exactly how we help our clients achieve 40 to 50% of their total store revenue coming just from Klaviyo, which is far above the industry average. If you want to implement these same AI strategies in your business, but you don't really know where to start, click the first link in the description to book a free strategy call with our team. We'll do a full audit on your Klaviyo account completely for free, and we'll tell you exactly where you're losing revenue and how to fix it. Or watch this video here to learn about the essential Klaviyo email marketing flows that you need and that you can optimize with these AI strategies. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.